Listen now for the Wbbf News.
5:30 WBBF News Time. Howard Gates reporting for Columbia Banking, where your money earns a higher rate on insured savings. There's no better place to save. On the Columbia Banking time temperature clock, the current WBBF temperature 9 degrees, and the capsule forecast fair and cold tonight. Snow crews are continuing the task of clearing area streets and highways clogged by drifting snow which fell throughout the day yesterday. Several area schools were closed today, and traffic moved at a snail's pace. Road conditions have improved throughout the day, but blowing snow is creating poor visibility in many sections, and motorists are advised to use extreme caution. The Rochester area is in for more of the same, with several inches of new snow due by Wednesday. The Monroe County Airport, hampered during yesterday's storm, has reported normal air service today. Things are much worse in Jefferson County's Watertown. A report from Mike Sinclair in Watertown.
The snow capital of the nation is the nickname being applied to this northern New York community, which has been digging out from under 70 inches of white misery for the past 4 days. Hundreds of residents in rural areas are still isolated by snowdrifts measuring up to 12 feet deep. Snow removal equipment have brought the number of plows to close to 100, but even this staggering number is not enough to open the clogged secondary roads in the interior sections of the Lake Ontario County. Shortages are being reported for the first time since the storm began last Thursday, as farm families began to feel the pinch of the isolation. Civil defense officials are rushing plows, escorting supply trucks into the disaster areas, carrying milk, bread, and medical provisions to the masses of people who have not seen another human since before the weekend. This is Mike Sinclair reporting from Watertown, New York.
Ministers of the 6 European Common Market nations met in Brussels tonight to continue the argument for and against British entry into the trade group. The French continue to oppose British entry, and a French spokesman warned newsmen against any optimistic assumption that France will go along with the West German compromise proposal. Negro Harvey Gantt was peaceably enrolled in Clemson College this afternoon, the first break in public school segregation in South Carolina. Strict security measures were imposed as the 20-year-old architectural student was admitted on transfer from Ohio State University. Clemson's president said the college is complying with court orders, but still will press an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court against Gantt's admittance. U.S. Ambassador Foy Kohler left Moscow by plane today to return to Washington, where he is due on Wednesday. Moscow reports said Kohler was carrying a message to President Kennedy from Premier Khrushchev, presumably on the nuclear test ban talks. But State Department news officer Lincoln White said as far as he knows, Kohler is not bringing any message from Khrushchev. Sharp disagreement with the recommendations of the Diefendorf Committee is today being expressed by a meeting of the Big Six school boards in Albany. The principal objection that the educators apparently have with the economy proposals of the Diefendorf Committee is the fact that they have ignored once again, according to the Big Six, the request of the large school systems for special treatment in regard to special education. Volunteer firefighters from Barnard and Grease Ridge battled a blaze today that gutted a two-story home at 178 Bonesteel Street in Grease. Barnard Fire Chief Chester Merriman told WBBF News that the fire of undetermined origin swept through the Russell Ives home. There were no injuries reported. And that's a summary of the latest WBBF News, including a recorded report from Watertown. I'll have the weather after this message. Get the new full-profit 4% rate on your saving dollars now at Columbia Banking. Why wait to earn the 4% rate? Columbia is paying the 4% rate on existing and new accounts. Saving anywhere else just doesn't make sense if you aren't earning Columbia's 4% rate. Or if you're still earning anything less, you're actually throwing money away. Step up to Columbia's entirely new 4% rate and get more this year. Put the real difference in your saving dollars. Set your saving by the clocks at Columbia Banking Saving and Loan Association, definitely upstate New York's fastest-growing saving institution. On the Columbia Banking time temperature clock, the correct time, 5:35. The weather fair and cold tonight, an overnight low of 0, mostly cloudy tomorrow, an expected high of 25, with snow developing tomorrow afternoon and through the night, several inches likely by Wednesday. The present temperature, 9 degrees, humidity 71%, wind from the west at 12 miles an hour, and the barometric pressure is rising. That's the official forecast. The WBBF weather wardrobe calls for an overcoat and a pair of overshoes this evening. And that's the 5:30 WBBF News. Howard Gates reporting for Columbia Banking Saving and Loan Association at the time temperature clocks in Rochester and nearby Newark.
Heinrich Motors invites you to see the biggest array of OK used cars in town. Heinrich's has over 200 outstanding used cars, which live up to every standard you'd expect from a dealer with a more than 40-year reputation for quality and service. Generous trade-in allowance on your car, low rates of the GMAC, and lowest prices make your Heinrich deal a great deal. Pick them now while the prices are the lowest they'll be in 63 at Heinrich Motors, 214 Lake Avenue.
WBBF Rochester.
You recognize that piece of great concert music? It's Brahms' Symphony No. 2. You can hear the entire selection tonight if you own an FM set. Hear it on WBBF FM 101.3 at approximately 7:10 this evening.
Now there you go. A little bit of Brahms for you at 11 minutes before 6 here on the Nick Nixon Show. And the Glenn Miller crew, yes, is standing by the forces. And they'll be entertaining from out of the archives in just a little bit. But you know, a coffee break, well, the coffee break actually has become an American institution. But instead of coffee, hundreds of thousands of people every day are having Coke. Now that's why the familiar red Coca-Cola cooler is such a welcome fixture in many offices and factories. So pause, have a Coke, the drink with a bright, crisp taste, the lively lift, the special zing. And be sure you have plenty of Coke at home, too. Buy Coca-Cola the convenient way. Buy the case. Time to review the financial doings of the day to keep you among the well-informed. And the market ran its string of daily gains to 6 straight today, as blue chips responded to glowing reports of profits. General Motors reported record annual earnings and touched a new historic high. Sales totaled 4,720,000 shares, with 594 winners against 467 losers. The Associated Press 60 stock average was up $1.50. The closing list of actives found Ford down 1 1/8, Reynolds Metals down 1/4, Gillette up 1, Chrysler up 1 7/8, General Motors up 3/4, Corvette down 1/8, American Photo and American Motors both unchanged, Jersey Standard up 3/8, and Ryder System was up 1 1/4. On the New York bond market, corporate securities were narrowly mixed in quiet trading. U.S. government bonds were unchanged to a little higher in over-the-counter trading. Now for the local quotes on the big board, thanks to Nancy Weaver, who called them in. Bausch was unchanged today, and Bonds was off 3/8. Kodak down 1/4, Dynamics down 1/8, General Sig was up 7/8, Neisner's was up 1/8, Fondler was up 1/2, Ritter down 3/8, Rochester Gas was up 1/2, Rochester Tel was up 1/8, Xerox was up 4 today, Bell & Howell unchanged, and Frieden was up 3/4. The closing Dow Jones averages, 30 industrials at 682.89, up 318 today. Rails were up 17 cents, utilities up 82 cents, and the 65 stock average showed an increase of $1.02. That's the final financial summary from the wires of the Associated Press.
Swing out in a lark. Get behind the wheel of a lark.
Say, you know, for only $63 down, $63 a month, Monroe Auto Sales puts you behind the wheel of a lark. Big riding, big performance, big comfort lark. Only the price is compact. Trade-in allowance is really big at Monroe Auto Sales, 55 Monroe Avenue, Rochester's big lark dealer. At the auto show, see Monroe.
WBBF Rochester.